Now I got something to show you, and it's gonna be something momentous. Hello everybody, it's me, the excellent reviewer, and we have got quite a bit to talk about coming off the Dominion pay-per-view event. So we've got a lot of business to cover, so let's get down to it right now. We start off with Jushin Thunder Liger, Manabu Nakanishi, Satoshi Kojima, and Hiroshi Tenzan as they take on Yuji Nagata, Toge Makabe, Tiger Mask, and Tiger Mask W in the first official match on the card. And it was generally, I thought for myself, a really good match. Had very intense moments, and there's this great moment where Tiger Mask W kicked Liger in the back of the head. He kicked him because the original Tiger Mask was in a submission hold. And then the crowd starts to boo Tiger Mask. They generally love Tiger Mask, but just because of the fact that he did this, they booed him. I thought it was a little interesting, to say the least. And in the end of the match, it was Makabe who ended up picking up the win, pinning Nakanishi for the win for his team. And after that, we had the Gauntlet match, the Gauntlet Tag Team match for the 6-man Never Openweight Tag Team Championships. We had Bullet Club and Chaos to start off the match, and there was this really, I thought it was really cool spot where all the members of Chaos essentially teamed up to try and get rid and eliminate Bad Luck Fale. So they eliminate Bullet Club just like that. And as soon as they're eliminated, here comes Suzuki Gun. That is point of the Gauntlet match. They keep on coming. So Suzuki Gun quickly come out. And all of a sudden, like even less than 5 minutes, Zack Sabre Jr. gets Toru Yano using his incredible wrestling skills to pin and eliminate Chaos from the Tag Team Gauntlet match. After that, we had Taguchi Japan coming out. They were next in line. And Taguchi Japan, they had no problem eliminating Suzuki Gun. But that didn't necessarily sit well with Suzuki Gun, because that's when Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, and Kanemaru go all over, and they just start attacking Taguchi Japan. They just start attacking as Los Ingobernables come. This is their time. They're the final team in the Gauntlet match. So Los Ingobernables come, and they obviously have the advantage. And in the end, there was this amazing suplex variation where they had like all the teams of Los Ingobernables and Taguchi Japan, and they did this weird, like, you know, the typical spot where there's a superplex and then there's a guy underneath, but they did that with using all the members, and it was an amazing spot. But in the end of that encounter, Los Ingobernables, they retained. They survived. Even though the numbers were against them, Los Ingobernables, Bushi, Evil, Sonata, they retained their 6-man Never Openweight Tag Team Championships in a phenomenal match. The Young Bucks took on Roppongi Vice for the IWGP Junior Tag Team titles. Now, something that I thought was very weird, and it was a little bit bad on the fact of Roppongi Vice, it was the fact that Roppongi Vice, they come out, they make their entrance, there's little to no audience reaction at all. Like with the Young Bucks and everything else, like all the other past competitors, I hear the crowd cheering. You hear the crowd cheering, you're like, yeah, or they boo the team. They were just quiet for Roppongi Vice. You just hear the music, and some people look confused for some reason. But like, I just thought that was very weird and bad that Roppongi Vice, who are the tag team champions, are getting no reaction at all. I just thought that was very weird. And it comes down to this because in the beginning of the match, the Young Bucks, they were vicious. They were on top of it. They were just using so many maneuvers that were so hard and had so much impact. And it was basically that they destroyed Rocky Romero in the beginning of the match. And Beretta was left by himself. And there's so many great spots in this match. So many great maneuvers and memorable moments. And there's this moment where Beretta's trying. He's trying to tag Rocky Romero in, and all of a sudden, here comes Matt Jackson, grabs him, power bombs him onto the ramp, effectively taking him out. And they were playing to that underdog story that, yes, they can do it. Yes, Roppongi Vice can retain, even though the Young Bucks are really good and they can take the titles. And they would always find some way to kick out. But in the end of this amazing match, the Young Bucks were just too much for Roppongi Vice. And they are now 6 times IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions. It was insane, a really good match. And after that, we had the Guerrillas of Destiny. They're going up against War Machine. Now, like I said in my predictions video, I didn't think that War Machine would last as long as they did with the titles, but they have been really, really good, especially in this match. And how could you expect nothing more? You had high-flying offense in the match before this. Now you're just going to get brute strength. You're going to get brutal submissions. You're going to get brutal attacks to the body. That's all you're going to get is brutal. And it was a really good match, especially with the fact that you had War Machine flying all over the place. And it was really awesome. But in the end, there was this moment. This moment where the Guerrillas of Destiny used the steel chair to take the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. They cheated to become the new Tag Team Champions. But like I said, what is to expect it, especially the fact that War Machine don't work for New Japan solely. They work for ROH, and they have other places to go. So I figured it was only a matter of time before they lose the Tag Team titles to someone. And they lost it on this night to the Guerrillas of Destiny. Michael Elgin versus Cody Rhodes was next on the card following that juggernaut of a tag team match. Now, we had Cody. It was generally a really good match for Michael Elgin. I mean, throughout this entire match, he was really good. But everyone knows, Big Mike, he did not feel intimidated by Cody, not one bit. And it seems as though every time Cody would, try to taunt him or do something like that, that's when Big Mike comes to slam him down, and hard. I mean, this was just really just a good match, especially with the surprise victory of Cody Rhodes picking up the win. I mean, nobody thought that was going to happen, and he did something that was really peculiar. He goes to the announce table. He talks to a couple people. And then he says he wants Okada. Okada and Cody Rhodes. That sounds like a fucking amazing match. And maybe, just maybe, that this match will lead to something in the future. And after that, we have Kushida, Best of the Super Juniors 24, taking on Hiromu Takahashi as they go one-on-one for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Now, both Kushida, Takahashi, they start off really fast and really good, and it seems like they're about to repeat themselves from that minute 26 match. But they did not. They go an incredible amount of time, and it's just really fast and furious action between the two. You can see that these two absolutely hate each other. They despise each other, and they show incredible offense and an incredible story inside the ring. And then, just when you think it's going to be over, Kushida is able to get that hoverboard lock in. He's able to get it in and make Takahashi tap out. And it was truly an amazing and phenomenal match. And you see outside that Hiromu Takahashi is livid. He's pissed at the fact that he lost to Kushida. Kushida takes a moment, then he starts talking to the people, saying, I don't know Japanese. But he starts, talking, and then all of a sudden, Bushi comes out. Bushi comes out and spits him with the green mist. And you gotta believe that this is not the last time that we heard of this. This isn't a one-time thing, and that they're going to lead to a matchup later in the future. Bushi against Kushida for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. It's going to be something great, because I always been saying recently that Bushi has the potential to be one of the best single stars around. We'll see when the match happens. Bushi Kushida. Hiroki Goto versus Minoru Suzuki for the Never Openweight Championship in a lumberjack death match. Well, this match was a bit of a mess now, wasn't it? I mean, it was alright. Generally a really good match, but there were just some spots where it was a bit of a mess. I mean, look, the lumberjacks were designed to keep the wrestlers inside the ring. If a wrestler goes out, guess what? He's going back in. But that wasn't happening as much as it needed to happen. I mean, there was a lot of action on the outside. There was a lot of wrestlers on the outside. And even though you're supposed to keep the wrestlers in, the point of the lumberjack match is that they have to stay inside the ring. Yet Minoru Suzuki and Goto were outside of the ring fighting all the time. But enough of that part. We're going to get to some of the good stuff right now. And one of the best parts of it was the fact that Minoru Suzuki got into a face-off with Jushin Thunder Liger. He started insulting Jushin Thunder Liger, and Thunder Liger was so close to getting and decking him across, the face, but they're like, hey, you gotta calm down. And that's why I love Minoru Suzuki. He's a grade A asshole. And I thought it was a great heel tactic. It was a phenomenal heel tactic. And it had Goto was actually pretty good in the match too. And he came so close to winning the title. He hit his finishing maneuver, and he was so close. It was 1, 2, but then the savior, Taichi, comes out from the crowd, pulls the referee from the ring. It was beautiful. I was like, thank you, Taichi. And then referee's on the ground, right? And all of a sudden, steel chair to the back and to the top of the head, steel chair. And then Minoru Suzuki, that was enough for him to hit the Gotch-style pile driver. 1, 2, 3, still never openweight champion. And, I mean, okay, it was a good match. It was a good match, but it was definitely the weakest on the card. It was just, that's what it was, the weakest on the card. But I love Minoru Suzuki so much, so all of this has been forgiven. We now get to the semi-final with Hiroshi Tanahashi against Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. I fucking loved this match. So many awesome moments. And we start off with Tetsuya Naito once again disrespecting the belt. This time, Tanahashi just can't stand it. So he goes to the outside and he jumps Tetsuya Naito. And they just get it on, start going one-on-one. And this was a brilliant heel tactic from Tetsuya Naito. He hears the crowd booing. He hears them booing. So you know what he decides to do? He decides to spit on the crowd. He spits in the direction of the crowd. It was literally so really fucking brilliant. I thought it was amazing. Tanahashi, this was something I never thought I'd see. Tanahashi, who prides himself on being the virtuous one with a pure heart. Someone like Tanahashi, he was downright vicious. He got to the point where he was throwing punches at Naito, which it's not really... It's something that is frowned upon in Japan and the Japanese wrestling style. They don't like to throw punches. But here Tanahashi was doing it. You could see the hate that he had for Tetsuya Naito. He also decided to spit on Naito. Don Callis on commentary was all like, when's the last time you ever see Hiroshi Tanahashi spit on anyone? And that was just amazing that they had these chemistry with each other, that they hated each other that much. And you could see how he despised them. And this was generally the definition of a great match, with so much unpredictability, high stakes, and great action, with Hiroshi Tanahashi in the middle of the ring, having Tetsuya Naito in a clover leaf, and then making him tap out. An incredible match, ending one of the best Intercontinental title reigns of all time, and we have Tanahashi, a 2-time IWGP Intercontinental Champion. And I honestly know that this match was better than the Wrestle Kingdom 11 match. Just a phenomenal match, and my hats are off to our new IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Finally, we get to the main event. one of the most highly anticipated rematches of all time. Kenny Omega against Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So I'm going to take my time, considering this is the main event. This is one of the biggest matches of all time when talking about this. Now, going into this match, I was very excited for it, and I remember just thinking to myself, how can you top the best match of all time? How's that possible? How can you do it? And the match started off fine, slow build to it, but that's what they did in the last one. It was a slow build, and what I liked about it is they repeated some of the spots, and sometimes Okada or Omega would get out of the way of said spot, and saying that they can't be fooled by the same trick twice. I thought it was good. So, generally, around the 30-minute mark of the match, I was like, okay, it was a pretty standard match, and I thought it was going to end because Okada already hit Omega with a Rainmaker. So I naturally thought, okay, it's over. It's over. Like, just one more and that's it. But then I started to notice something. I noticed there were people in the back of the entrance of the ramp. And I was just all like, are those the Young Lions? Because, the Young Lions work and stuff like that. But then I realized it wasn't. And then all the members of Bullet Club came in. And Cody was threatening to throw in the towel. I thought it was like, what is this? What are you doing? And I see Kenny Omega slowly getting up, and I'm just all like, you guys are genius. And that right there was enough for Kenny Omega to get back into this match. He was like gone at this point. Like, it was pretty much a done deal that Okada was going to win up until this point when Kenny Omega came back into the match, and it brought new life to it, hitting so many V triggers. There were so many drop kicks. There was a standing moonsault from the top rope, and it was beautiful. Everything was amazing. There was a table spot. Okada drove Omega through the table. Omega was trying so desperately to hit that one-winged angel. He even hit it, but at the last moment, Okada put his leg to the ropes. There were so many false finishes, and just when you thought that Omega was trying to get some offense in, that just when you think that Omega's time is now, Okada finds some way to kick out of it, finds some way to answer to Okada's call. And I had no idea, personally, that there was a time limit for this match. And that's ultimately what it played down to, was a time limit. Because at the end, they were exhausted. These two men had been through a war. At one point, Kenny Omega, he dodged a Rainmaker, but it's only because he fell due to exhaustion. And ultimately, it was around the 5th Rainmaker of the match, I believe, that Okada hit Omega. And both men were down. They were down. And then just you hear the announcers, they're saying, oh, it's down to 2 minutes. It's down to 1 minute. 50 seconds, 10 seconds, and you could see Okada trying to crawl his way to cover Kenny Omega, but he gets so close, and then the bell rings. The bell rings, and it's over. The time limit came into effect into this match. Now, when I first saw it, I booed so much because I'm like, you can't have it end like this. But I'm alright with it, because you think about it this way. They never lost. Okada didn't lose. Kenny Omega didn't lose. He just didn't win. Just didn't win. And that means that Kenny Omega didn't lose the match, which is a great thing. That means there's going to be another match after this one. And generally, okay, like I know I can see how this irritates people, because you want to see a decisive victor. You want to see a decisive winner. But it's fine, because like I said, it continues on with the story. And let's not forget that Tanahashi and Okada, my bad, had one of these finishes. And time limit expired the match. And hey, it's still one of the best. No, it's not one of the best. It's the best feud of all time, still from this one match. And just the fact that they were able to go an hour, is mind-blowing. And I was thinking to myself, how could they top Wrestle Kingdom? How can they top Wrestle Kingdom? They did it with this match. And with this match, they far exceeded expectations. And there's a reason why this match is now going to be called the greatest match of all time. Well, that was Dominion 2017. What else can I say but what an amazing event. Not one match around this whole entire thing failed to deliver. But the only weak part of the whole event was the Lumberjack Deathmatch. I will say that. But still, other than that, a phenomenal fucking show. Good job to New Japan, who consistently bring it on a basis, who consistently show and turn out good matches and pay-per-view events like this one. And hey, that's been my review for Dominion 2017. Hey, do me a favor and let me know what you guys thought about this event, the results and everything like that. Let me know in the comment section below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And if you want to see more videos like this, you want to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You want to do all that great stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I couldn't be here without you. I've been Samuel V, aka The Excellent Reviewer, and I will see you all as soon as I can.